is the show the establishment warned you about.
And welcome to the most listened to Concierge Medicine morning show in the entire galaxy, brought to you by Atlas MD, the preeminent medical software for membership medicine practices. And if you're looking for something to make your life easier as a concierge medicine or direct primary care doctor, you should try Atlas MD for free for 60 days. Go to AskDrTommy.com, click on special offer for Atlas MD, sign up, then you will get one 30-day membership for free, and then they will give you $300 to use towards ongoing memberships if you so choose. Or otherwise, you can just go back to using whatever crap you've been using, like we used before. Yeah. And then also you can go back to using to having to do PCI compliance and all other stuff for credit card processing. Yeah, and
that was a nightmare.
You know, using different programs for messaging and having to copy and paste your messages into the EMR so that you have them. And then what else? Using
excuse me,
making a copy of their email somehow so that you have that in their thing, because they talked about some medical problem in their email and you need that in the EMR too, and you responded in the EMR. So cut out all that. Just get Atlas MD for free for 60 days. All that's included: processing, messaging, emails, credit card processing.
Yeah, once you try it, you'll just love it.
Once you try it, you will say, "How did I live without this?" Atlas MD, Atlas.MD. Go to AskDrTommy.com. Click on special offer for Atlas MD. Today we have a highly prepared broadcast. Correct?
Yes.
Today we have a broadcast that I was just like, should I run a best of series and run like a tomato picking video or a music video or whatever, or we should just go on? And I said, you know, we need to go on, because we talked to a patient today who's one of our listeners, and she says she likes it when we talk about the news because she doesn't follow the news that often, and she likes it particularly when we cover good news. And so one of the good news is that I'd like to cover today is the ongoing good news that associated with Madison Hoyle, who is going to the Florida Gulf Coast
University.
And she's just racking up award after award.
Yeah, she's pretty excited. She's I think she says she just can't stay up with all the...
So this is Tracy's daughter, oldest daughter, 18 years old.
17.
Soon
to be 18 though.
She got the highest score in the whole nation on the Cambridge exam. So Cambridge exam is a Cambridge University sponsored kind of like an advanced AP, IB program type thing that we have here in Florida, particularly at Pasco County high schools or Pasco County schools. And
yeah, it was the first year as a pilot program when Maddie, we had the opportunity to do it, and we had never heard about it before. She, the IB program was an option for her, but she would have to, go all the way to Land O'Lakes.
Which is far. For those of you not familiar, it's far. Yeah,
it would be, because there's other children that have to be picked up, it would be about a 2-hour bus ride for her.
So she took a flying leap, joined this new program, had the guts to do it, and now, like we said, #1 score on psychology test in the whole nation.
Yeah, and Pasco County ended up, there was 3 schools that were recognized, and Pasco County got the medium-sized school award for, for implementing this program, and it was a win-all for everyone, really. And Maddie's going to graduate with close to 40 college credits.
So congratulations to Superintendent Kurt
Browning, Mr. Kurt, as Kaylee
calls him, and then one of the school board members we know is Alan Altman, who was one of the proponents of that.
Yes.
So congratulations to everybody in the school board and this superintendent, and congratulations to all the students who are continuing to do well in that program. Because you don't hear enough about students that are doing well. You hear more about students who are shooting people. You hear about students who are becoming sexually active with teachers. You hear about students who are have some other kind of complaint, some type of grievance. You don't hear enough about students who just go to school, do their job, kick butt, and then go on to be very successful adults.
Yeah, there was a girl last night. I don't remember what she did, but she got a $20,000 scholarship from Foot Locker she implemented some type of new program. Like I said, I wasn't able to hear everything she did, but how amazing is that? I have not heard anything about it though. $20,000 scholarship, that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. And with the cost of school these days, if you don't get scholarships, you will accumulate debt at a rapid pace.
Yes.
That's why we are not even going to invest in any money beyond what you've already done to save for the next child who's going to be due to graduate in 10 years. Mm-hmm. Because I think this this bubble is going to, education's hitting a bubble, and I don't think that it's worth saving the money now, because I think the education bubble is going to pop before 10 years.
I don't know. I know that I have the Florida prepaid for Madison, and I paid in about $9,400 for her. And since she's going to college on a scholarship, I thought maybe that I could, transfer that $9,400 to Kaylee. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I can't use it because she has to be graduating within 10-year period.
Of starting it? Or?
Yeah. Yes. From 10 years after Madison graduates, it has to be used. And, but I was thinking I could maybe transfer it to Kaylee. So if
you had a kid closer together, like say you had a 17-year-old, they didn't have it, but then a 12-year-old, then
yes. And that child would be able to get locked in at the rate. Like Madison, I took this program out and this plan out, I believe in 2003. So she was locked into what the college rates were in 2003. Mm-hmm. But I can't use that for Kaylee. So if I were to transfer that $9,400 over, I'd still have a balance of $15,000. Because that's how much the cost of college has gone up since I took that out in 2003.
Yeah.
But hopefully Kaylee will get, be able to get the same scholarship that Madison. There's no reason why she can't do the same thing her sister's done. So
I think Kaylee is going to benefit from seeing her sister get all of these awards, because it builds a positive reinforcement for her. Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
What else is there? There's so much going on in the news that sucks. There's nothing else that I think of that's good news.
No.
Or at least what's reported to us. The other thing that's good news is that as of today, you are 22 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
And that baby's kicking away, huh? Mm-hmm. So,
well, I've had 2 cups of coffee, and he or she is probably thinking enough is enough.
So for those of you
drinking the coffee,
not aware, and that means everybody listening mostly,
yeah,
we're going to have a baby in September, God willing, healthy baby in September, and it will be a boy or a girl. We don't know which.
Yes, it will definitely be a boy or girl. We're not going to allow the baby to pick his or her gender.
One of my friends said, "What baby?" We were talking back and forth. They just had a child in March, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations! Have you decided what gender you're going to assign it yet?" And I said, "No, we're going to wait. We're going to do a YouTube, we'll do a Facebook poll and see what Facebook people think the gender should be."
And then,
or we're going to do one of the 57 genders that's allowed in New York City.
Yeah. And then when we have our baby, we are going to communicate with our baby, because I just recently watched an article that we are supposed to ask our baby,
what gender do you want to be?
Well, we're also supposed to ask for permission
to change its
diaper.
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah. So we're supposed to say, let's say we have a boy and we're going to name him Carson, we think.
Yeah.
So Carson, is it okay if I change your diaper? I need you to tell me if it's okay to change your diaper. Oh, yeah.
These people are psychotic.
It's crazy. This child, we know that kids will walk around with a diaper on that's got pee in it or poop in it. They won't care until they become red and raw and irritated.
There's no limit to the perversity of thought that permeates throughout what we consider civilized society nowadays and passes for cutting edge, kind of whatever, just the best and the brightest of the newest things to think about. There's no sexes. Children can choose. Children could be 6 years old and change their sexes. Infants should give permission to change their diaper. There's no limits to the insanity. There's no limits. And it's amazing that those people have survived this long.
No.
And I think it's because we live in a very tolerant society. And a lot of these ideas that they have, if they had these ideas in other countries, they would have been.
I just personally, when I raised my girls, I did not, of course I'd liked for them to, have choices but I'm not going to let them run all over me. For breakfast, I remember reading them even when I was raising the girls. There were books that I read that I need to make sure that I give my children lots of options, just for something simple as breakfast. Ask them what they would like for me to prepare for them. And I never agreed with that. I thought, okay, you have a choice. Do you want eggs or do you want a bagel? Or do you want eggs
Kaylee
and
what
fruit?
she wants for breakfast in the morning. She usually says eggs.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll say something else. But it's not like if she said, I don't want eggs. I said, well, would you like a pastry? I don't want a pastry either. Would you like fruit? No. Right. What can I do to please you today?
Yeah. So even back then, people thought that that's what you should do. I never felt that way. I'm going to give you a couple options.
Yeah.
You can pick one or the other or not have anything at all.
And maybe that's why Madison scored #1 on the psychology exam in the United States.
Yeah,
because she
maybe.
wasn't raised to believe that she was automatically entitled to whatever the hell she wanted.
Right.
So she would have showed up to that test if you had raised her that way and be like, well, I don't think I should have had the lowest score. I think I should have had the highest score. Why is that? Well, that's the way I feel.
And that is, we do have a patient that is an educator at the community college. And
she runs into this all the time. People,
yes, these
I don't believe I
20-year-old
deserve
kids.
this grade. Well, you got an F. Well, I think I should have done better. Well, shit, I think you should have done better too, but you didn't. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Do better.
Well, and
then the parents come in.
Yeah, the parents come in, and these are 20-year-old children or 20-year-old.
My Billy's never had less than this grade. You need to change your grades. The same thing happens with doctors. You know that? Doctors get told, look, I need to, the patient says the doctor didn't do a good job. Why not? Well, he didn't give me antibiotics. Okay, you didn't get antibiotics. You go back to the doctor. Why didn't you give this patient antibiotics? Well, they had a virus. Yeah, but the patient felt like they needed antibiotics. You didn't give them to them. So you're going to get a bad internet score. And then we're going to get a bad payment. And then so next time you better give them antibiotics. So next time you give them antibiotics, then they get C. diff colitis. Then they come back and they said, well, you gave them C. diff colitis with the antibiotics you gave them. Why'd you do that? Well, because the internet score was going to go low. And you told me if I didn't, then we're going to have decreased revenue. Yeah, but now they have C. diff colitis and they're going to sue us. Now you're fired.
Yes.
So what is insanity?
It is.
People, I was thinking about this. One of the things that people need more, everybody, is to have is to be disappointed more. Why is that? It teaches you to tolerate things that don't go your way.
That's right.
And it teaches you to say, look, I had something not go my way. Now, instead of going home and going to a fetus position and crying all day and then going to have, mental breakdown, I'm just going to, put it behind me and go through my day. But every day people just are, nothing's their fault. It's not your fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's because your skin color. It's because of who you like to have sex with. It's because of whatever. Pick the way you wear your hair. That's the fault, and it's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. And then people just grow up to think that, and then they fail.
That's absolutely right.
A lot of times.
Not that I want to keep bringing up my children, but I recall too my daughter Madison. She complained, of course, like any typical teenager, when she was 11, 12, 13. She did not have the latest phone or electronics like her friends.
Yeah.
And of course, I always told her you can buy one yourself. We were always a few years behind on everyone else. But it kept her, I feel like that she, knew that she had to work hard if she wanted, these nice things in life.
And then what did she do? She ended up buying her own computer.
Right. She did. She turned 16 last summer. She got a job a few weeks later, and she ended up buying her own
MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that children need to want to work towards a goal. Now, when you hand everything over to them, it doesn't work like that in the real world. But unfortunately, that's what happens. Though people grow up, they get everything handed to them, and then when they become adults, they wonder why
do you think
things not falling in their lap.
What makes people think that that's going to? I mean, does it? It just doesn't. I guess I can't think of it because it makes absolutely zero sense to me.
Well, I was never raised that way, either were you. But think about it, though. If you were raised that way, you would have a different mindset.
So the parents been raised that way too, then? It have to be.
Well, no. I would think that parents, a lot of people think, I want my children to have what I didn't have.
And so then they don't understand, though, by doing that, indulging every little craving they have, they don't understand that that's later going to be harmful.
Right. Everyone wants their child to have a better life than what they had. Even if they had a good life growing up, every parent says, I want more from my child. I want my child to not maybe have to work as much as I did when I was in school, or, I do not want them to struggle as much as I did. Most everybody thinks that, I think, but that doesn't mean you hand everything over to them. But that's what happens, I believe, in a lot of circumstances. Parents just give their children more and more and more. Yeah,
it's unusual. It's a different way of thinking. Back to pregnancy. So you're going to be due here 22 minus 40, 18.
Well, September 19th or the 21st, is around the due date.
So all the things that are happening, changes. And then one of the things that is apparently speaking of new things to do, one of the most cutting edge things to do now is to, not maybe now, maybe it's been for a while, is to eat the placenta after birth.
Yes. Now, my cousin did get hers turned into, she'd been put into capsules, and then she ate the capsules like a multivitamin.
But she didn't have it bedside like we read in that article.
I read in the article that you can have it raw.
Bring your own sous chef in.
And put it in a smoothie.
So you picture this lady's pushing, give birth. Baby comes out. Doctor delivers a placenta. And they're like, who's that guy? And he's standing over there. He's got this like starched white apron and a little chef's hat and like a little hot plate. He's going to cook the placenta. And you just fry it up there, right there in the room. And
I also,
how do you like your placenta? I like mine medium rare.
I've had two children.
Pink in the middle.
Never seen my placenta. A doctor has never asked me, do you want to hold your placenta? Yeah. Do you want to cuddle with your placenta?
You want a picture with it? We saw that one thing where there's a photographer who takes pictures of babies with placentas.
In some cultures, they will do that. They also will leave the placenta attached to the baby. For several days.
What do they call that?
I cannot remember, but they will wait until the placenta detaches itself.
Right. Because whatever.
Well, it makes the transition into the real world for the baby much easier, is what they believe.
Okay.
My girls turned out just fine, and I did not keep the placenta attached to them.
I remember one time when I was delivering babies, back when I was training, I had to deliver, I think 40 babies, 30 of them vaginally to complete my residency, part of residency requirements for family medicine. And, we used to deliver with the obstetricians, and sometimes we'd deliver with the midwives. And, depending on, everybody's got a different style, but the midwives tend to be more kind of what do you call it?
Well, I know that they're more patient, that's for sure.
But they're kind of more alternative medicine.
Okay.
The doctor's like, okay,
all natural birth.
Break the bed, let it stirrups, maybe episiotomy, take the baby out, slap it on the butt, whatever. Midwives are more like, well, maybe we should deliver it in the bed. Maybe we should have the lady on her hands and knees and pull it out that way. And then I remember one time they were saying, you know what, and to make things less traumatic for the baby, when you deliver it, instead of clamping it, so usually what you do is you clamp it, the cord. So you clamp the part coming out of the baby's belly button on the baby side. Then then about 4 inches later, you clamp it again and you cut in the middle. Or you give it to the father and they cut it in the middle or whoever. Anyway, so I remember, and then after that, then you take this little plastic thing and you clip it really close to their umbilical cord. And that's the part that's going to dry off, right? That's the part you go home with, the baby. You see the baby's little thing on the belly. Anyway, so I remember one time they were like, you pull a baby out and then you put it on the mom's belly and everybody's like, okay, let's cut the cord, because you cut the cord soon after that. And then you deliver placenta. So she's like, well, let's do it this way, this midwife. Let's clip it, and it's not used to clamps. We'll just clip the baby with the plastic thing and then cut the cord that way. We'll cut out some of the steps for some reason. I was like, okay. So I did that. I didn't really want to, but you have to do what they say because you're just like, whatever. I'm just, okay, fine, we'll do it. So I clip it, I cut it, and I'll be damned, that clip came off. And it was like Mount Vesuvius.
Oh, my goodness.
Because the damn blood was shooting out of the baby's umbilical cord.
Oh, my gosh. Were you freaking out? Was it with the midlife?
I clamped it back, but I was just like, crap. It's like, I don't ever want to do that again. She's like, yeah, well, that can happen. I'm like, yeah, it can happen. It just happened. I don't ever want to do that again. I hate that when they would come in like, why don't we do it this way? I'm like, why don't we just do it the same way? I mean, I'm not looking to like develop my own technique. I'm not like Chet Atkins trying to invent new ways to play the guitar. I want to deliver 40 babies successfully, everyone, and I don't want any new techniques. I don't want to deliver it in the bed.
My sister had a midwife.
Walk around, deliver it while they're standing.
They are very patient and they're compassionate. Not that doctors are not compassionate. But I think my sister and, they also, my sister labored for 24 hours because the midwife was adamant that after the water breaks, you need to wait as long as you possibly can before you have they take you in for a C-section. I labored for 8 hours and my doctor was like, okay, this is it. You're not dialing C-section. But my sister with her midwife, she was like, well, we need to go 24 hours. So my sister labored 24 hours.
And she did?
And then she had a C-section.
And then she ended up with a C-section.
Yeah, but I remember my sister, and I know women, I hear women labor sometimes for days. But anyway, I'm not saying my doctor wasn't patient, but the midwife my sister had I thought was more, very patient.
Well, I think
my sister probably wasn't happy that she was so patient because, when you're like that and you're in pain and you're miserable, a lot of women probably are thinking, just do whatever you have to do to get this over with.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us for our impromptu Dr. Tommy show. Go to YouTube and click on the bell, and you will be signaled after you subscribe whenever there's a new one, or subscribe on iTunes or whatever you choose. And contact us on askdrtommy.com and email us if you have any questions or concerns. And today's song of the week is Radioactive by The Firm. I think last week we did The Firm too. Paul Rogers, Jimmy Page, Chris Slade, and Tony Franklin. This is circa 1986, I think. And this is when Jimmy Page went to playing a Strat. He used to mostly play Les Paul when he was with Zeppelin, although I think he played a Strat when he on Stairway to Heaven. Anyway, this is Radioactive, and subscribe on iTunes. Until next time, bye-bye.
Not unattractive. Turn me on tonight. 'Cause I'm radioactive. Yours not a fight, and I'm not your captive. Turn me loose tonight. 'Cause I'm radioactive. I want to stay with you. Play with you, baby. I want to play with you, and I want you to know. Got to concentrate. Don't be